Today, on Be Something Wonderful, overcome linear time. Live in your imagined end. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Happy New Year. It's 2023. This is our first video of the year. We have returned to our studios after traveling, and this is a huge lesson today. I really want to talk about a session that I had yesterday with a client. And this client had a few things to say. And one of the major things was, Tom, I'm imagining my end, and I'm telling my new story. I'm not telling my old story of what I don't want. This is what she was saying. She goes, I'm giving up telling my old story. I'm focused on my imagined end, but I'm still encountering situations where I'm triggered. And then I feel like I'm spiraling out of wish fulfilled in my imagined end. I'm getting caught. She uses the words that we've been talking about. I get caught in the messy middle. And you mention, she talks about this that we've mentioned in a few videos now, that if I'm not choosing my desired end, something or someone else is. Old memories, triggers, the subconscious past, right? And we did talk about that. It's the subconscious past or those triggers or those old memories are deciding your life. So I really want to talk about this idea, because when we talk about the idea of telling a new story and not telling your old story, when the idea of telling a new story is not about avoiding or trying to suppress or repress the old story. It's not trying to suppress or repress or avoid the old memories. Why? Because rather it's understanding that all stories are you, all existences are you. All memories are you. You exist in all of those memories. Remember, you're a multidimensional being, right? So you're thinking of this old story in terms of linear time. It's linear thinking. It's the linearity of existence that you're thinking of rather than the simultaneity of who you really are. In other words, it's not just that story. All stories exist within you that are possible, all possibilities. So all existences are you, all memories are you, all of them exist. So it's about integrating all of it as a multidimensional being, seeing the larger ultimate reality through all of it. Do you hear it? That's what we're talking about, right? So yes, it's true that you want to choose your imagined end, but then you can let go of that old story and that old memory, because it's just one story out of an infinite number of stories that you exist in. The question is not whether you exist in these memories or these stories. The question is, where are you going to live? Just like one of my clients said, I don't live there anymore. You don't get to choose. You're a multidimensional being. You exist in all potential realities, all potential stories, all potential events, memories, situations that ever was, is, or will ever be. Question is where you're going to live. And the way to live is transcending all of those memories, integrating all of it, not dividing up God, right? So let's talk about this a little bit more. And then you say, I'm starting the hill. I will get there. I know this journey will make me stronger. I'm remembering the positive here. So you said, I'm remembering the positive. I imagine my new life, but seem to get pulled back. So hear this. You're selecting the good memories while trying to suppress or avoid the negative ones. You're dividing up all that is. And I hear why we're doing it, but here's the thing. That opens you up keeps you trapped in linear time, to the idea that you may get triggered. The idea that you might have to live that memory again that you don't want. The higher perspective is all of those memories, good, the ones that are judged good and positive, or the ones that are judged bad and negative by you, you exist in all of them, right? And cause equals effect. You really, as a multidimensional being, you transcend all of it. But you're still holding on to the belief in the linearity of your existence, right? Of your existence versus the simultaneity of who you really are. All is right now, and it's all integrated in cause equals effect, right? So it's about transcending all memories, all stories, all events, all images. You transcend all of them. But as you believe in linear time and say that old story exists in my past, then it is that you give it control to trigger you. Versus saying not only that memory, but all memories exist in the past, and they all come together in that unified whole. Love unifies all of them, and I transcend all of them. And while I exist in all memories, while I exist in all images, while I exist in all events, I get to choose where I'm going to live. Right? Which images and memories am I going to see through that higher reality, see through that broader perspective? That they all cause equals effect and there's only love, right? You exist in all these images. The question is, where are you going to live? Like my client used to say, I don't live there anymore. There's no potential in linear time. I want to hear this because you're talking about healing in the future and having that better life in the future. Like linear time holds potential and it's unknown, but you're going to get there by imagining around. Remember, healing is in the now moment. Healing's not in the future. Potential, there's no potential in linear time. There's no healing in the future, right? There's no healing in linear time. It's all right now. You don't heal in time. You heal by making a choice for that broader perspective. The choice of simultaneity, that all images, all memories, everything that ever is, was, or ever be, all exists within you. And all of those realities are superimposed one over the other, and you're seeing out through a certain vantage point. So when you see it out, knowing that you're all those realities. This is big today. And really, this comes from, I've talked about Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Emissary before. And I've actually left 2 links below. One to the video where I talked about it, and actually a video of a scene with, it really centers around Commander Benjamin Sisko. And the scene opens up that he's on the Enterprise with Captain Picard. And he tells Captain Picard that Sisko's getting assigned to a spaceship that is orbiting a planet or a civilization called the Bajor, or the Bajorians who live there. Right? And so it's orbiting Bajor. And Sisko's job is to help the Bajorians get into the Federation because they're no longer occupied. And so the scene opens up and it shows a flashback with Picard controlled by underboard control. His mind was underboard control, ordering an attack, a vicious attack, on the spaceship that Commander Sisko was in charge of. And it killed everybody except his son. He escaped with his son, right? And I think a few others, but his wife got killed. And he holds Picard responsible, even though Picard, remember, was under board control. So he ordered the attack under board control. So there's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of belief in that past event. And although Sisko tries not to think about it, tries to distract himself, it keeps coming back. The scene where he leaves his wife and him and his son go to safety, where his wife dies in that attack. And he's feeling guilt. He's feeling resentment against Picard, right, for ordering the attack. He holds all these grievances. So then they go forward, and Sisko discovers a wormhole. Well, he's orbiting the planet. Well, he's helping the Bajorians, right? And this wormhole is these wormhole aliens are light beings. They're very advanced, like the Bajorians. They're advanced light beings, right? And and so Sisko's telling them about the idea of human existence and the belief in linear time. They have no concept of linear time. They live in they live in simultaneity. So really, what do the wormhole aliens represent? They represent the light, or your awareness, the higher you. So it's Sisko trying to explain linear time and human existence to the wormhole aliens. Remember, those wormhole aliens that represent your light and your awareness within, or your higher self, right? And as he tries to tell the story of why linear time, quote, makes sense, and what's exciting about not knowing the future, right, and all of this stuff, he appears back at the scene of his wife's death over and over again. Do you hear it? So he's talking to the light, these light beings don't know linear time. They just know simultaneity, that everything happens at the right time. Everything happens at the same time, that all events exist, all possibilities exist, that there's no potential in linear time. And there's no value in being ignorant of what happens in the future. This is what they're saying. So let's continue on here. Sisko says to the light, or to awareness, what is the point? Because as he's telling the story, the light beings, remember, can show him the past, but it's not them showing him, it's Sisko, right? But Sisko's saying, what's the point of bringing me back to this? In other words, back to the memory of when his wife dies in the spaceship and he escapes with his son. Back to that tragic event that he's been holding on to, although he's been avoiding and trying not to think about it, suppressing it, right? And the light, so he says, what's the point of bringing me back to this? And here's the big thing. The light says to Sisko, we do not bring you here. You bring us here. You exist here. Gives you tingles. You exist here. Sisko exists in that memory, in that event. But it's bigger than that. Remember, Sisko, we all do. We exist in all memories, all events. But they're saying, you exist here, meaning you're living there. You're holding on to that event in linear time. Believing, right? But you're holding on to the event, but it doesn't make sense to hold on to it because if it's linear time, it's gone. Right? But all events are happening right now. So that give me and then this is what Sisko says, give me the power then to lead you somewhere else, anywhere else. Sisko to the light, he doesn't want to remember that anymore. What's the light say? We cannot give you what you deny yourself. Look for the solutions from within, Commander. Hear this, and remember, as they're talking to him, the light is taking form of all his wife, his son, and all these other human people that he's had contact with, right? They're taking the form of them. I've left the video below. But he's denying himself, right? He's holding on to that subconscious past. He's holding on to those memories, believing that is real, that is something that he can't let go, right? He's choosing to exist there. He exists in all of them. But he's choosing to live there. He's choosing to remember it. So it's not linear. Do you hear this? He keeps telling them about linear time, but they're saying it's not linear. If you get to choose, if you're living there and existing there and holding on to that memory, how could it be linear? Because he hasn't moved on in linear time. He hasn't moved on at all. So hear this now, guys. Sisko to the light. I never left this ship. He comes to the realization that he never left the ship. That he's not only been existing in that memory or in that scene where his wife died, but that he's been living there. He's been choosing to live there, holding on to it, not integrating it, right? Remember, when all memories, all images, all potentials we exist in, and we integrate them into that whole of God or that whole of love, where we see the broader perspective, that all of those, that the extremes meet, that it all makes sense in the realm of one God, one love, one consciousness, right? And then the light says to Sisko, you exist here. In other words, you exist everywhere simultaneously, but you choose to live or dwell in certain memories and not others. You choose to remember this positive memory, right? And try to avoid the negative memory. You don't bring those, the key is to bring all memories, all images, all events to the light of who you really are. Because you exist in all of them. But when you try to avoid one, when you make it real and then you're living there, right? Sisko tries to block the unwanted subconscious past, right? And holds on to the resentment and bitterness and blame and guilt against Picard, right? He told Picard at the beginning of the movie, this is going to be my last ship. I'm going to go into civilian life, right? He's holding so much resentment. His linear 3D thinking mind, it blocks him, or is blocking him, from seeing the greater reality within. All is one. Cause equals effect. There's only love. All of those events roll up, but he's only thinking in linear time, right? So we'll see at the end, right? The transformation is that he does decide to stay. He talks to Picard. He integrates his mind. What Jesus talked about, that seek the kingdom first in its righteousness. What does that mean? See the wholeness see the integrated mind. not just the partial perceptions of good and bad experiences that you're judging. Instead, see the whole of reality, see ultimate reality, and everything else will be added on to you. That's what Jesus meant. So the light says to Cisco, so you choose to exist here. It's not linear, right? Because Cisco goes, I can't let it go, right? He couldn't let that go. And so the light says, so you choose to exist here. In other words, you choose to live here. It's not linear. They made the case that it's not linear. If you're living in a past memory, if you're holding on, even if you're not telling the old story anymore, but you're still getting triggered, you're still choosing to exist there. You're still choosing to live there. When you react to old unwanted conditions, all conditions exist. You hear this. The BSW client, I don't live there anymore. Remember that one that I said that about a year ago? She had a tremendous download where she doesn't live there anymore. All addresses exist. All potential realities exist. All images, all memories. But where are you going to live? You don't exist in some memories and events and experiences, not in others, like Cisco was trying to do, like my client was trying to do, right? You exist in all of them simultaneously. Where you choose to live is what shapes your life and experience, all of it. Where are you going to choose to live? And instead of choosing to live in any certain memory, choose to transcend it. That's why we always point you back to being connected to your wish fulfilled, your desired outcome. Because you're connecting with love. You're connecting with ultimate reality. You're connecting with all there is when you focus on your desired outcome. When you transcend time, when you make the future now and the elsewhere here, you're transcending it. The light is showing Cisco how to choose right-mindedness. In Scripture, they call it righteousness, as Jesus talked about, to integrate his mind and align with Source. That's what they were teaching him. To align with Source, that all memories exist, all images. You can integrate it. It's not linear, meaning it's all happening right now, but it's all one. Wow, that's powerful. So, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. That's what Jesus meant. Right mind or righteousness is unity. It's oneness. It's integrating all experiences. It's not trying to think positive thoughts or force positive feelings or deny unwanted or negative memories, suppressing them or avoiding them. Rather, it's understanding that all memories, all events, all conditions exist, both happy, judged happy and sad, or judged good and bad, but not identifying with any of them as who you are. Hear it. That's transcending it. That all memories, all what we would judge good and bad, right and wrong, right, happy or sad, all of them exist, but don't identify with any of them as who you are. Transcend all of them. See the oneness. See the simultaneity and love in all of it. Go all the way, as Lester Levinson said. That's what Lester Levinson meant by bring the negative subconscious past to love. Bring it all to love. Let it all come up. Believe in all experience, that you are more than any one experience. That you're the integrated whole. You're the love. You're beyond all of them. Right? But when we identify with any one experience, even the good ones, we're bound to get trapped in linear time. We're bound that if we have pleasure, we're bound to have pain, right? Because you get trapped in that seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. But it's all integrated. Pain equals pleasure. It's all one. There's no potential in linear time. Trying to rationalize and defend your linear beliefs, existence, by telling the same old stories and how things will get better and improve in the future. So even then, my client said she's not telling the old story, but she was telling a story about healing sometime in the future. That what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That suffering is meaningful. And then you're just telling the old story, and then the healing will happen in the future. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. No, suffering's not good for the soul unless it teaches you how to stop suffering. This is Seth through Jane Roberts. None of it's required. You're a fully integrated being. So our pain and suffering comes from trying to divide up God, or all that is. We have that partial perception. Some memories are okay, some are not. Some realities are okay, some are not. We're all realities. We believe in separation from our source, right? Perception is partial of the whole of who you really are. right? You are beyond time. You are beyond space. You are beyond linear stories, some memories and other memories. You are all memories. You're all images. It's about seeing the unreality of linear time. Choose eternity, not linear time. Ultimate reality, not partial perceptions. All potential, all of you, all that is, exists right now, right here. There's no potential in linear time. That's big, guys. I really want you to see this today. So let's continue this. Fulfillment is not linear. Healing is not linear. Potential is not linear. Fulfillment is now. Healing is now. Potential is now. You get to choose. It's all within you right now. You exist in all realities, all versions of yourself, all conditions, all events, all memories, all potential images right now. The question then is, where do you live? And Jesus asked this question in a bigger question of self-concept. Who do you say that I am? Where do you live, or who do you say that you are? Right? When you know you're that larger I am, you're that larger being that integrates all realities, you want to identify with any one memory, any one story. Right? You're all stories. This is what the light says to Cisco. You value your ignorance of what is to come. When he's telling the idea, the benefit of linear time, the good thing about it is you can be surprised and the potentials in the future. And they say, you value your ignorance of what is to come, right? And then finally, Cisco sees it. He breaks down after the light says, no, it's not linear, is it? It's not linear. And he goes, no, it's not linear. And then he moved to that healing right now in the now moment. Wow, that's powerful. That's what we're talking about here. So yeah, focus on your desired outcome and know that all memories, all situations, all stories, it's not just the stories, quote, that you remember or the images that you are remembering, but you're all of those. Look at the larger reality as you imagine your wish fulfilled. And then you got it. Then the kingdom, everything else, when you seek the kingdom, everything else will be added on to you. Overcome linear time, live in your imagined end. I am your host, Tom Kearin. And this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for considering joining the membership channel. I have a link below. There will be more videos there. Thank you for considering our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You're all welcome to share insight and guidance in that group. And also visiting our Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. Guys, there's more to come. Happy New Year with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom. See you soon.